We're group 3 and we're going to talk about fibers. So, fibers are any long, thin, solid object. Most fibers are class evident and not individualistic because fibers are very common, unless the fiber is customized to one person and not mass produced.
These are the types of fibers that were shown in lecture. In lecture, we talk about fiber types, the two being natural, which come from animals and plants, and synthetic, which are human made. The most common natural fiber is cotton. Other common natural fibers are wool from sheep and cashmere from goat. Synthetic fibers are either man made or mixed man made and natural. The first ever man made fiber is rayon, made in 1910. We also talked about the examination and testing of fibers. To examine fibers, we usually use a stereo microscope. With the stereo microscope, tweezers, a ruler, and a protractor can help to determine the angles in which the fibers were spun, so as to determine what kind of fiber it is. With a compound microscope, we can determine more class characteristics of the fibers, and that is exactly what we do in lab. We can determine the color, diameter, and cross-section shapes of the fiber, like trilobal, round, flat, and dumbbell. To determine the type of fiber, we can use microscopic tests, which are non-destructive tests to determine characteristics and to match specific fibers, or chemical tests, which are destructive tests, in order to distinguish the composition of the fiber.
Now we're going to move on to the lab overview of analyzing fibers, where we identified class and individual characteristics. In lab, we analyzed 6 different fibers: flax, silk, coconut, cotton, hemp, and cattail. We used a compound microscope with magnification 100 to 400x. These 6 different fibers were mostly natural, and while sketching them, we identified their class and individual characteristics. Here are 2 of the 6 fibers examined. With the coconut fiber, the outer layer was extremely rough, and the inside was dark brown with light brown fibers around the edge. The cattail fiber had a smooth outer layer, was brown in color, had brown green elongated spots, and were similar to scales. The lab questions that we made are as follows: which of these fibers are not man made? True or false? Silk comes from animals. Which of these is not a fiber cross section shape? Is the diameter of a fiber a class or individual characteristic? What are goats commonly used for in the manufacturing of fiber? The answers, which read in order, are A. Cotton, true; D. Figure 8, A. Class, and A. Cashmere.